Hey everybody, what's going on? Drew Danger here representing. Before I get started on this video, I want to give a shout out to my buddy Anthony over at Lids that hooks up all my hats. Today I'm wearing Big Trouble in Little China hat. I'm gonna start something. Normally sometimes I don't point it out exactly. I think I have a few times, but I'm going to get into, my custom hat. And usually there's a custom shirt. So as you can see, there is Sir Kurt Russell and Big Trouble in Little China representing that today. Every time you guys get a new video every week, YouTube videos or something like that, you're going to see sometimes two different hat changes, two different shirt changes. Today, there's just going to be the one. So next time it'll be a different shirt, different flavor. Okay. So now that that's out of the way, let's talk about this. Okay. Today we're talking about a subject. Now, disclaimer, you may or may not want to hear what I have to say. Okay, so if not, that's cool. I understand it. I respect it. We can go on about it. We can move forward. Which means if you don't want to hear it, you don't have to listen to it. That's okay. These are all my takes on what I think. So let's get that out in the front before I get all these angry people. As you can see by the thumbnail I had, this has to do with Black Lives Matter. Hot subject. Okay? A subject I was kind of trying to avoid a little bit because I have gotten so much heat and backlash from this matter. So I decided after talking to some friends of mine and some other people as well, why not? Let's go ahead. Let's get into it. I mean, who cares? Really? We all have a voice. We're all Americans. Unless you're, I forgot we're on YouTube. So if you're from another country, I got you. But I just want to say in America, we're allowed to speak our mind. So I'm just saying, I'm going to speak my mind. And if I step on anybody's feet, hey, sorry, that's not the intent. Okay. So here we go. Ready, boys and girls, men and women. Black Lives Matter, Drew Danger's take on what I think. Now, let's get into it. Black Lives Matter. Okay. I come from a very multicultural family. A lot going on. Caucasian family members, Filipino family members, Native American ancestry running through the blood veins of us, Irish from, obviously from Ireland. Lot of things going on. So there's a lot of blended ethnicities, if you want to call it that. I just call it human beings from other countries because we're all the same at the end of the day, really. So anyway, I grew up with a lot of different cultures, a lot of different things. It never bothered me. I treat everyone the same. I have never been a racial person as far as prejudice goes. That's my word, man. Everybody says, oh, that's racist, that's this, that's this. I say bigotry or they have a prejudice. That's really my term. So that's what I mean when I say those things, just to get that out of the way. So, Black Lives Matter is an organization that I do not support. I am not a fan of Black Lives Matter. I never will be. I am open to discuss with any of you guys that want to leave me comments or emails, or even some cases you guys might even be able to call me. If you guys really want to get into it, I talk better. So I'm not opposed to talking to anyone about it. But as long as, here's the thing, respectful, and we can be cool after. Okay? We don't have to agree. We can be cool after. Okay? A lot of the reason I point that out, almost went back. The reason I point that out is because there's a lot of people today that feel that when they say these things, that if you don't agree with them, they put you on a blacklist and they try to, find out who your family is and make your life difficult and all that stuff like that, and find out about your job or your finances and try to mess you up. Not cool. Okay? We all have our opinions about things. And it's very important because that connects to Black Lives Matter. Because if you don't feel the way Black Lives Matter feels, or supporters of it, you got a problem or an issue coming your way. They're gonna let you know that you are not immortal. They're gonna let you know that you can't just say anything, whatever your situation may be. I know I'm not immortal. I'm not a Highlander. My name is not Connor or Duncan MacLeod. Film reference. Um, so I know that. So that's not my issue. My issue really is that they're censoring people to tell them what they can and can't say. Like I said, I'm not a supporter, so I should be able as a free person to say, hey, I don't support that. I shouldn't have to worry about people jumping all over me. Okay, so that's my take on that part. Now, the organization in a whole, no, I do not care for that at all. I believe that all lives matter, no matter what color you are. Now, I do understand that minorities are put under a certain thing, especially for the past. And there have been a lot of difficulties amongst each other. There have been a lot of struggles and fights and reparations and people that were not allowed to go to this side of the town or to eat here or to live here or to marry whoever they want to marry or date whoever the heck they want to date. I do understand that very much. As a minority myself, I know. Even though I'm a clean cut guy, as you guys saw in the Big Herc interview and OG Silverback's interview, it does not mean I did not encounter things. Let me be upfront with that. A lot of people seem to misunderstand that. I read some of the comments in the Fresh Out Big Herc comment area where people commented to the video interviews I did. And that's why I want to talk about this too, because I want to address those people. Let me tell you guys something, okay? I may be a square guy who grew up in suburbia and the surf culture, skateboarding culture, comic books, science fiction, action genre, all that good stuff, okay? I understand that. But understand this. I might be a square guy, but it does not mean that I am ignorant to certain things and I did not experience certain things. It's just that it's not taking the high road. It's just that I understand the nature for truly what it is. And see, guys, if I sum this up in one way, here it goes. We're all human. We're all in this together, okay? People are trying to make conflict and problems, okay? Black Lives Matter, here we go, wants to take when Caucasian people were the head people and running things and Jim Crow was going and segregation was going and things of that nature. They want to take Caucasian people and flip the script, which means they want to make what was once Caucasian power structure, they want black people to have that power structure. And they want Caucasian people to be in the lower class and beneath and segregated and to be told what to do and those things like that. And then the Black Lives Matter people want to be put on a pedestal and platform. So here's the issue. When we go through difficult things, when things go bad or in another direction for us, we should learn from our mistakes and not do to people what we didn't like done to us. That is one of the number one reasons I am not a supporter of that, because I don't believe in returning, giving people receipts, if you want to call it that, for things of that nature, because that doesn't make us better. Does it make the situation better? Absolutely not. The best thing we could do is have a discussion and just say, look, these things were messed up in our past, but how do we move forward as a people and as a nation, not just black people, everybody. that lives in America and around the world. How do we all get along knowing that we have some bad blood between us, that there are some stereotypes, that there are some issues, that there are some hangups about some things? How do we make this right? How do we do better as a people and as individuals? How do we do this? Those are the questions we need to be asking. Black Lives Matter supports mainly just Black lives. Now, I know there's of groups of people that represent Black Lives Matter that say, well, that's not true. We are accepting towards this. But see, the issue I have is there is a group that really supports what I've been saying this whole time. And that's the issue, is like, no matter what you guys are representing this group over here, hey, make a different movement. If that's not what you guys are doing, that's the issue I have. If you guys are not representing that, then why aren't you, the people that say they're not 100% in that, okay, cool. Make a new movement, make new shirts, make new titles, and go about it that way. But see, they haven't done that. That's the issue I have too, is that they're really trying to push this agenda. And, you know, as a person who has quite a few different ethnicities within me, I don't agree with that. We're not all one ethnicity, so we shouldn't act like that. We shouldn't act and be separated like this. We should be standing side by side, okay? And for those of you that disagree with me, that's cool, but I'll give you some food for thought. Martin Luther King fought for the equality of all people, not just Black people, not just Asian people, not just the Hispanic community, everybody. He wanted to see everyone united, everyone representing, everyone doing well, everyone, one nation, one voice, one color underneath America and worldwide. That's what he wanted. That's what he pushed for. Everybody seems to remember the I Have a Dream speech, what it said. That's what that was about. And he made that very well known. So we have a holiday for Martin Luther King that's coming up. And we talk about how much love we have for Dr. King. But yet we don't try to take his example. Now I know, here we go. Well, I like Malcolm X. People do that one all the time. I love Malcolm X. Okay, great. Gotcha. You have the right to express how you feel. If you like Malcolm, okay, cool. But here's the thing, boys and girls. Malcolm X, towards the end, went to Mecca himself and saw that people were not breeding that hatred that the Nation of Islam had. They were not. Mecca was like, everyone was there praying. Everyone that was Muslim was all different ethnicities all together and all peaceful. So he came back to America being a new person. He changed the script. He completely became a new person, and he was trying to be more like Martin Luther King because he saw that his way was not right, and then he was killed. That's what happened. People seem to cut that ending off and just want to remember the militant Nation of Islam, Malcolm X. That was only one phase of his life. Let's embrace all of it. Bruce Lee used to use a quote, and I know there's a lot of heat because people say, oh, well, he didn't make it up. No, he used it. It was actually said and written by somebody else. But he says, underneath the heavens, we are all the same. We are all part of God's family. Which means we're all human, and God loves us all equally. The same. So when I see all these people talking about, oh, Black Lives Matter, okay, great. There are injustices on the street. I do understand that. There's some bad stuff. Okay? But here's the thing, too. Is it all who we say it's their fault? That story, oh, it's their fault. It's the police fault. It's these people's fault. It's Caucasian people or white people, whatever name you want to use. You know, I say Caucasian out of respect. So I want to be respectful. So they want to use that narrative, which is fine because, yeah, there's an issue there. with some people. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, there's obviously neo-Nazis and obviously Klan members, so there's obviously an issue. But at the same time, do we bring it amongst ourselves? I don't know anything about the rap world. Okay, I've know some names and heard some things, from cousins and family members and things of that nature. Um, so I've heard it from them, the names like Nipsey Hussle and people like that. These guys are getting killed by their own people. And not just their own people, but people that are like, in the hood, people that are into rap music. They're not getting killed by some sorority boys down the street. They're getting killed by people in their own neighborhood that listen to their music, that buy from the same stores they do, that hang around the same people they do. These are the guys that are doing this. So they're killing their own people that are fans of their own music, and that raises a question. Why is that? Why is it when I was a kid, we were terrified to wear cool shoes because we didn't want to be killed? We didn't want somebody walking up to us on the street saying, hey, cuz, what set are you from? And then killing you. Like I said, I'm a square dude, but see, where I grew up, everybody was there. There were Blood and Crips there. There were neo-Nazi guys there. There were Mexican gang members there. I can't remember which group back then. I know there's quite a few. But they were around, and I never had issues with them. Still don't, because I don't bother people. I kind of stay to myself. With all those guys being around, you got exposed to a lot of different things and a lot of different opinions and where people were and how they handled their business and things like that to some level. Which is another thing that I said earlier was, I think people have a misconception about me. Is just because I'm well-spoken, or try to be, and I grew up in suburbia and things like that, and I grew up middle class, does not mean, like I said in Big Herc's video and OG Silverback's video, you guys heard my story. I was around some things. I may have stumbled into it, okay? But it doesn't mean that I didn't hang around these guys and I didn't know the language and I didn't know what people were doing, or that I couldn't handle myself, that was another misconception I'll talk to you guys about. Guys, I trained in martial arts, okay? Many martial arts. So let's get into it. Jeet Kune Do. You guys know about that? Way of the Intercepting Fist. Bruce Lee's system. Trained in that, okay? Wing Chun Kung Fu, which was Bruce Lee's first style, okay? Trained in that. Of course, Taekwondo, because it was always around, it was easy to get to, and it was the number one thing your parents wanted to throw you into, right? Kempo started really big because of Master Jeff Speakman, did the movie The Perfect Weapon. He opened a studio across from where I lived. So I did that, for a time. And then I also did a little Aikido, not very much, but a little bit of that, and Muay Thai. So if I have to do something, I'll do what I need to get out. I'm not a tough guy. I'm not a master. I don't have the glow and I don't catch bullets with my teeth. Okay. But I'm not some weak guy that grew up in the suburbs that stumbled into things. Okay. Let me be open about that. I'm try to be a very knowledgeable person and a peaceful person and treat everyone as well as I would like to be treated. But let's face it, man, growing up in Southern California, stuff just went crazy sometimes. And you had to be able to get out of situations. So with me, martial arts is a very spiritual thing for me. I studied martial arts to be more connected with myself, to help me with my discipline and things of that nature. But also with it, if I got to do something to get out of a situation, which I hope I don't, that's how with martial arts, you hope you don't run into those situations. The idea is hope with an H. You hope you don't. And you hope that things don't go wrong. But sometimes they do. And sometimes you can talk your way out of it, and sometimes you can't. And sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And that's okay too. So I just really wanted to touch on that. I'm sorry I was going on a tangent, but I am not a fan of Black Lives Matter. I do not support anything they stand by. I do not support what has become of the NAACP, not by any means. Any group, guys, let me break this down. Any group that supports separation of any type, I don't care if they're black, white, blue, yellow, pink, rainbow, I don't care. If they support separation, I do not support it because I do not believe in supporting people. I love everyone, and I think we should be uplifting, loving, caring, kind, and supporting to each other at all times. We should be doing that. We should be right towards each other. We should be spreading the love and the support, especially at this time with the coronavirus going on. That's a whole nother story. I'll get into that in another video probably. It's too long. But my point is, businesses shutting down, people in and out of work, people still working, all this stuff going on. We really need to love on each other right now and come out and show some support. I thought when this thing broke out, it was going to be like 9/11. If you guys were around when 9/11 happened, I was. When 9/11 originally happened, I was in my last year of high school. Okay. So I saw people loving on each other, helping each other, being really good to each other. I did hear that there was a lot of Middle Eastern hate. I never saw a whole bunch of it, so I can't really comment on that deeply, but I can comment on what I saw, and I saw people really showing support towards each other and people really being good to each other. And I thought when this coronavirus thing happened that people were going to do that. With all these things going on, that there was going to be something that brought us back together. Even when I'm not a huge Obama fan, but I thought that his message when he was first running before he became president was uniting people and giving them hope was the idea, but that was just a platform. I don't put trust in politicians, guys. They're just running a platform. So they ran a platform, and then when it happened, that really wasn't the whole thing. And I know you guys are, well, he united this and he worked on the marriage thing. Yeah, but he didn't unite all people together to connect something. It was all part of an agenda for him to get whatever he needed out of it. So when we stop being selfish and put others' feelings in there and do what is right at the end of the day and treat people, like I said, like we like to be treated, then we're going to see some change. Then we're going to see some help. Then we're going to see things really working for us instead of against us. But until we do that, we cannot move forward. Another thing is we have to learn how to pick ourselves up in some situations. Unfortunately, people that are on welfare, hey, if you need welfare, I get it. Okay, if you need some assistance, I understand. But to live off of it and not try to better your life and just stay underneath of that yoke for all these years, you gotta find out what's out there. You gotta find your opportunities. You gotta find where you can grow. Like a lot of guys, you guys know I hang out, with OG Silverback. Guy did years in prison. He became a computer software engineer and programmer and did all sorts of things. Well, how did he get out of jail and find a career such as that? He found ways around it, guys. So there's ways around stuff that you can do. I'm not saying it's going to make you a millionaire sometimes. I mean, it might, but you got to get up and you got to change your narrative somehow. Because if you don't, you'll never get to grow to the potential that you were destined to be. I believe in God, and I think that God has a destiny for each and every individual person. But it's up to you to do the work and to become that. And if you don't do the work, you may not get the gifts. People just want the gifts without the work. That's the issue. You know, I was listening to what Ice Cube had to say when he got interviewed by a couple famous ladies. Trying to think who it was. Um, Lisa Ray, I believe, and Vivica Fox, and a couple other people were on there with him. And the main thing that I took from that conversation was Ice Cube was saying, look, guys, I came up with something I wanted to try that I believed in. I wrote the format. I'm out here speaking on it. And then all these ladies were telling him was like, yeah, that's cool. But they just wanted to tell him what to do, but they didn't want to help him. And at the end of the conversation, he's going, see, that's what I'm talking about. Nobody wants to help me do this stuff. I told you guys, why don't you write something and I'll present it to them? How about that? And I'll make you guys the representatives, and then you guys as ladies can sit and discuss whatever you have to discuss, and I can discuss, and we can do a whole thing. They said, no, you just do it. So everybody wants everybody else to do the work for them. Okay? A lot of people do not want to just do the work on their own. You know, if you need some help, okay, cool. But eventually you're going to have to do something on your own. You're going to have to make something work. You're going to have to kind of work hard. You know, that's just what it is. So when I see a lot of these people talking that whole thing and they don't want to do any work, you know, it's crazy. I remember when I did investigations, there was a guy I used to know, and he was kind of interested, and I said, yeah, man, I'll teach you all I know. My partner and I will sit with you and we'll explain the game to you about how this works. So I called this guy up and I said, hey, man, because he made an appointment to come by like on a Thursday or something like that. And I called him and I said, hey, man, are you still coming by? You know, my partner's here. We wanted to talk to you and explain the business to you and try to get you started in something like that. Give you a new avenue, man. And you know what he did? He was like, oh, yeah, you know, I got busy today. I'll try to get by there. And he had no intentions of coming by. It was just all talk. So in closing, guys, this is what I'm going to say. Don't be about talk. Be about action. Arnold Schwarzenegger said it best in The Running Man. Don't be about talk. Be about action. All you hear is just fancy talk, as he said, and no action showing. So either he says, shut up and make it happen, or move out of the way. You know, and that's really true. You know, we got to move some things in motion or just get out of the way. You know, I have people try to tell me stuff all the time, and you can't do this and this, you can't make that happen. And then all of a sudden, I'm the one out there doing stuff and they're not doing anything. You know, all it is just talk for them. Me, I'm an action guy. So if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. If I'm interested enough in making it happen, I'm going to make something happen. If I've got to do something, you know, late at night or work extra hard or make this, then I'll do it. Because that's what it's all about. If you want the results, then make it happen. As it was said in one of my favorite shows, Robotech, which was in the 1980s, there was a song Min May had called We Will Win. And the main lyric in that song was, life is only what we choose to make it. Let us take it and let us be free. We will win. So I want to leave you guys with that. Think about it. Check out some Robotech. If you haven't looked at it, look at the videos from Fresh Out, Big Herc 916, and OG Silverback, and show those guys some love. Big Herc, super great guy. OG Silverback, super great guy. I haven't talked to Nate Dogg 916. I'm just getting into his channel, but he seems like a really neat guy. Check him out. Subscribe to their channels, and let me know what you guys want to see in the future. All right, D's for Danger. I'll check you guys next time. All right, out.